It's official! Harry Potter is getting a TV show. And truthfully, I've always thought that Harry Potter would have been great in TV show format. 2 hours of the Wizarding World per film just never seemed quite enough. I always wanted the films to dive deeper into the details of the books, and to have some more time for plot points to breathe on screen. So in that sense, I'm pretty intrigued to see how the show plays out. But I'm also a bit apprehensive, I'd say, about the announcement, because I think it's going to be pretty tricky for the show to become a great success. And this comes down to two main things that I foresee HBO will need to get right in order for the show to be a smash hit: relevancy and personnel. Rumors indicate that the show might be released in 2025 or 2026. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 was released in 2011. So that leaves us with a 14 to 15 year gap between the films and the show. And while studies indicate that it only takes a few months minimum for us to feel nostalgic about something that happened in the past, I'm not sure we're that nostalgic about this franchise yet. After all, we haven't not had any Harry Potter content in the last decade or so. There's been The Cursed Child, the Fantastic Beasts movies, the Wizarding World Park in Florida, and then most recently, the video game Hogwarts Legacy, which sold over 12 million copies. It really seems that in the past decade, the Harry Potter franchise has never once left our side. And in fact, having a remake or retelling of the Harry Potter story so soon might be actually bad for the franchise. In the same way that Spider-Man became kind of stale in the Andrew Garfield era, after Tobey Maguire was Spider-Man for so long, it was way too soon for yet another retelling of the Spider-Man story. Which brings me to my first success factor: relevancy. When not enough time has passed, remakes can make the franchise feel overplayed. And the Harry Potter films are still relevant. The cinematic shots, especially in the later films, are still beautiful. And a lot of fans still find joy in the original films. There's no reason for a remake, because the original films still do a decent enough job of telling the story in a way that modern audiences still enjoy watching. Of course, the films aren't perfect. Like I mentioned previously, a lot of detail from the books were cut, which meant a lot of the depth was left out of the adaptation. So if the show is able to strike the right balance of detail and become a faithful adaptation like HBO and Warner Brothers have indicated in their marketing, then potentially the show could truly add something new to the franchise and be relevant to audiences in a completely different way than the films. Bringing me to my second success factor: personnel. For the show to add something to the franchise, the team behind the new series needs to be able to bring something new to the table. Although the original films were successful, we also can't live in the past. We need a fresh take, meaning we need new people to bring a different perspective. But the film and TV industries are notoriously risk-averse. Sure, the studios are remaking Harry Potter because they know it will more than likely make them money since the franchise still remains so popular. And to do that, they're going to make sure that the team behind the show knows what they're doing to protect their investment. Usually that means keeping some of the previous core creatives as part of the team. Like with the Fantastic Beasts films, where they kept David Yates as the director after he worked on the last couple Harry Potter films. And as much as the previous Harry Potter creatives might have done a decent job with the original films, they are less likely to be able to create a version of the story that is different, unique, and more relevant to current-day audiences. That's because they will most likely be biased with what's worked in the past, more than 12 years ago. Instead, I think it'd be more beneficial to find a completely new creative team, a group of people who are big fans of the story and also have a strong, unique, and creative take on the Harry Potter story. I'm hoping for what happened and is happening with Dune, where Denis Villeneuve's passion crafted an amazing contemporary interpretation of the source material. What I hope doesn't happen is for the Harry Potter series to become something like Rings of Power, where the episodes are each directed by different directors, which resulted in completely disjointed storytelling. The latest announcement also included that J.K. Rowling will be one of the show's executive producers. But ideally, in my vision for success, personnel changes also mean not involving J.K. Rowling in the hands-on making of the show. Her screenplays for Fantastic Beasts clearly show that she is less adept at writing for the screen, which is understandable because writing screenplays requires a different set of skills than writing a book. And now, almost 16 years after the release of the last Harry Potter book, I think someone else is more than capable of writing the screenplay, just like Steve Kloves did for all 8 of the original films. Besides, there's more than enough information out there in forums and interviews to fill in any gaps in the books. And given J.K. Rowling's recent controversial opinions, not having her involved might actually be a relief for some fans. I do have faith that Harry Potter is in good hands though, with the latest success of The Last of Us. I personally believe that out of all the studios and networks, HBO Max is probably the most likely to succeed in shaping the beloved Harry Potter series into something fresh and relevant for current day audiences. But for now, we'll just have to wait and see. Without a doubt, the next couple years will be pretty interesting, especially to see how fans react as we hear more news about casting and the creatives involved. In the meantime, let me know what you think about the Harry Potter TV adaptation, and whether you think the show will be a success. Thanks for watching, and as always, subscribe for more spiels in the future.